Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance on Guru Srila Prabhupada. So today is Vasant Panchami. So Maharaj, before I announce the verse, I just wanted to check with you. Would you like to give class on Vasant Panchami or Srimad Bhagavatam? You're on mute, Maharaj. No, I can't hear. Vasant Panchami. Vasant Panchami. Okay. Brilliant. Then I have nothing to share. Then I'll wait for you to start. And I think your camera is still showing a little more of a roof than your face a little bit. Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you. Thanks. Hari Hari.
Satyabhama.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
You are glorious. You came out of one of the top book distributors in the whole UK. They gave you they were offering garlands, obeisances, and trophies.
I'm far away from top distributor Maharaj, but yeah, just little bit trying something.
Wonderful. Watching the ceremony. That was nice. I said, well, this lost gopi, she finally found herself.
Yes, and I lotus feet Srila Maharaj. I'm just there, a small ant sitting there.
I was just thinking, Prabhupada was saying today, he was saying, we should go from door to door to enlighten people in Krishna consciousness, and that's what you're doing.
Yes. We're trying. This is a very humble try, Maharaj, in comparison to the amount of work is required. There is so much to be done.
You don't know what's behind those doors when you start ringing the bell. Okay, so yeah, thank you. So yeah, Vasant Panchami. Om Gyantimidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya Re Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Vebicha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today, along with the celebration of the first day of spring, which is known as Vasant Panchami, there are many appearance days of great personalities and one disappearance day. So today is the appearance day of Sri Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Raghunandana Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, Srimati Vishnu Priya, and the disappearance of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Today is also Saraswati Puja. Before I describe in summary some of those personalities, I want to read a little bit about this day. So this is the first day of spring in India, and on the 5th day of the waxing moon, one should celebrate the coming of spring to Vrindavan by offering Krishna many types of leaves and flowers and fresh shoots and sprouts, sprouting grasses, things that symbolize life and new growth. Following the footsteps of the Brajabasis of Vrindavan, one should paint designs on Krishna's body and perform a special arti for him. It is appropriate to offer yellow flowers also. The Vasant Raga should be played on this day. The deities in the temple, especially in Vrindavan, wear yellow or yellow and green on this day. In places like Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, and Udupi, many of the women folk dress in yellow. Women folk dress in yellow. As it is the first day of spring, many fertility rites are performed on this day for the family, for the women folk, for the crops, for the cows. It's a very festive time. Many new projects are begun, weddings are performed, fields of mustard, yellow mustard flowers grow. Celebrating on the onset of spring, it marks the beginning of a new life with yellow mustard flowers starting to bloom and nature displaying her majestic best. Thus, the color of the festival is yellow, and women can be seen dotted in saffron dresses. The puja on this day is devoted to Saraswati, and people pray for wisdom and understanding. There are several ways in which puja is conducted on this day. In Bengal, the place where the statue of Saraswati is kept is decorated with rangoli. The design of a fish is considered auspicious. Family members bathe early in the morning and dress in white or yellow colored clothes. Then they gather around the deity where the priest commences the puja. Arti is taken of the deity and the flame ED lamp is passed around devotees. Children place their books on the goddess's feet. No books other are touched on that day, signifying that books are being blessed by the goddess. In Rajasthan, also, the puja is conducted in a very colorful manner. And then it goes on describing some more of the pujas and ends with the lady of the house giving some bears, some sangaris, and laddu, and pan to everyone present. So that's a little bit from the tradition of Vasant Panchami. It's called the first day of spring. So today is the appearance day of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. I'll speak a little bit about him because there is a long list of personalities. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Lord Chaitanya would call him Father. And sometimes Lord Chaitanya would just cry out, Father, oh Father, oh Father. And he would go into ecstasy and sometimes cry in separation from Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was actually King Vrishabhanu, who was the father of Srimati Radharani. So he appeared again in Gaur Leela as Pundarik Vidyanidhi. We also know Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahiyonya. He's Krishna, but he is in the mood of Radharani. So in the mood of Radharani, she's calling out to her father, Vrishabhanu, in that mood, Mahaprabhu's mood. One day, Gadadhar Pandit was with Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu had just realized by his spiritual prowess that Pundarik Vidyanidhi had come to Navadvip. And he told Gadadhar, actually he said to Mukunda, Mukunda, I want you to take Gadadhar to meet Pundarik Vidyanidhi. He is a very great sadhu, and I think it'll be nice if Gadadhar takes shelter of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So on the request of Mahaprabhu, both of them left and went to the place where Pundarik Vidyanidhi was staying. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was not recognizable as a sadhu. He was always dressed in lavish clothes. He had hair, which he would comb very nicely, put perfumes in his hair, and also dress himself up very, very elaborately. The place where he stayed was also like a small palace, and the room where he was living, there were bedsteads, there were gigantic flower pots, nicely decorated with fragrant flowers of all different colors and shapes. And he had servants, and it was looking like he was quite like an ordinary materialist. He would chew betel nut. Sometimes he would look in the mirror and smile, seeing himself. And he would chew betel nut, and his mouth was all colored red from chewing betel. So when they came to see, Mukunda was there, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi greeted both of them. And Gadadhar was seeing Pundarik Vidyanidhi, and he was thinking, Mahaprabhu's saying he's a great saint. He looks like an ordinary materialist. So his mind, he didn't say anything verbally, but he was thinking in his mind. Mukunda understood the mind of Gadadhar, and therefore he decided to quote one verse from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, wherein Krishna shows special mercy to Putana. Although she came with poison smeared on her breast to kill the child, Krishna accepted her as his mother and purified her by sucking out the poison and killing her and elevating her to a very high position in the spiritual world because she came as his mother. And he quoted that verse, which was mentioned by Maitreya in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he did, Pundarik Vidyanidhi went into ecstasy. And he just started to call out Krishna's name constantly. And then he went into very deep levels of ecstasy, expressing so much joy that he went mad with transcendental happiness. And he started to act in a very, what we say, different way. He started to rip off his clothes. He started to throw the things in his room around. He was smashing everything, breaking things, and just rolling on the ground. His servants came to try to, catch him and calm him down, but as soon as they came near him, they went flying off in different directions. His ecstasy continued for 6 full hours. Finally, after 6 hours, he came back to external consciousness. Not knowing what he did, he was a little embarrassed, so he sat there being very quiet. Mukunda and Gadadhar had witnessed this whole thing during that whole time. And Gadadhar, now realizing that he had misjudged this person, he was thinking, why? He is truly a great soul. I should take initiation from him. So he communicated that to Mukunda. And Mukunda communicated that to Pundarik Vidyanidhi, who said, oh, yes, it is very auspicious and also very rare that one gets a disciple such as Gadadhar Pandit. And so Gadadhar took shelter of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So if you see the connection, because Gadadhar is Srimati Radharani, and Rishabhanu is the father of Radharani in Vrindavan Leela. So the daughter and father were united as guru and disciple in Gaur Leela. And there was much more about Pundarik Vidyanidhi. One time he criticized the Parjaris of Jagannath for putting some unwashed garments on Jagannath. the garments had some, it was on the, what is that called? Odonostasti, what is it? Odonostashi? Yeah.
Yes.
It happens,
Kodachasti.
yeah, it happens usually at the end of November, December. And the garments have starch in them, so they didn't want, the pujaris didn't wash the garments. And they just put them on the deities. So he didn't say anything, but he was very critical in his mind. How could they do that? And that night he went to sleep. And in his dream, Jagannath and Baladev came and started slapping him in the dream. And they were slapping him this way and that way, and he was, yeah. And then when he woke up, his cheeks were all red from being slapped by Jagannath and Baladev. They were upset because he had criticized their Pujari for putting on those garments. So who can understand the mind of great souls? And of course, Jagannath and Baladev wanted to make a point. Don't criticize my pujaris, my servants. Okay, that's a little bit about Pundarik. And then we have Raghunandana Thakur. He was the son of Mukunda Sarakela. Mukunda Sarakela was a physician, and he had a son named Raghunandana. At that time, Raghunandana was only 5 years old. Mukunda had been worshiping one deity, and he would worship the deity before he would go out for his occupation during the day. So one day he said to his wife, I think it's about time that Raghunandana learns how to worship the deity. So you give him all of the ingredients, I'm going to work. So she told him everything, what he should do. And she gave him two things, a glass of milk and a laddu. And she told him how, go into the deity room, you sit down, you place it before the deity, you chant, and then you ring the bell and you ask the deity to please accept the offering. So he did that, the little boy, he took it into the room, very dutiful. He was always considered to be a very well-behaved child. And then the deity didn't eat. So he was thinking, he started crying. He said, my father's going to be upset. I'm supposed to feed you and you're not eating. So he started crying, and then the deity became compassionate and drank the milk and ate the laddu. So when he came out, there was nothing on the plate. And mother was wondering what happened. Then his father came home and he asked his son, oh, please bring the prasadam. And his son said he ate it all. And he was thinking, he's such a nice behaved boy, and now he's acting differently. But then he started to think. And then the next day, he arranged for the same thing. And then everything happened the same way. And this time, Mukunda hid in a secret place to watch what was happening on the altar. And when Raghunandana went to offer it, the deity again hesitated and he started to cry. And then the deity this time, he knew that Mukunda was watching, so he drank the cup of milk and ate only half the laddu. He left the other half there. So that laddu that was eaten by that deity is still there. after how many hundreds of years, the same laddu is still being preserved there. You can go. Then one time Lord Chaitanya said to Mukunda, Mukunda, your son is Raghunandana and you're the father, but who is the father and who is the son? So then Mukunda understand, actually Raghunandana, he's my father and I am his son. Because the son always learns from the father. Raghuvanandana was very, his fame started to spread around, and then there was one deity, one great devotee, who was an incarnation of Sridham. He was known as Abhiram Thakur. And he used to carry a whip with him, and anybody he would touch with the whip would get love of God. But he was so powerful, he would pick up trees and hold them like flutes. And for 9 hours, one time he picked up a tree and stood in the position of playing it as a flute. He was very powerfully built. He was actually Sridham come again. And so one time he had heard about Raghunandana. There's another thing too, that if he were to pay obeisances to anyone, if that person wasn't a pure devotee, he would immediately die. And he would also go in front of Shalagram Shilas. And if they weren't Shalagram Shilas, because sometimes people would just get black rocks and say they were Shilas, he would pay obeisances to these Shilas. And if it wasn't a real Shila, the rock would crack into pieces. Well, that was, so he heard about Raghunandana, so he wanted to meet him and touch him with his whip. So when his mother and father found out about that, Abhiram Thakur, they decided to move him out of the village and hide him in another village. But still, by the power of Abhiram Thakur, he found him. And then he offered his obeisances to him. And of course, he didn't die because he was a pure devotee. And he touched him with his whip. And he touched him once, twice, and then the third time. And then his mother said, "Oh, don't touch him anymore. That's his only king." 3 times. That was too much. So that was Raghunandana Thakur. He was present at Ketrigram when Narottam Das Thakur did the famous Ketridam festival, inviting all of the departed souls, all of the devotees who were left after Lord Chaitanya had left the planet. They had the first Gaur Purnima 50 years after the disappearance of Lord Chaitanya. That was a place called Ketrigram. At that time, Narottam was leading kirtan, and Lord Chaitanya and all his associates appeared in the kirtan and start dancing. Even though they had left the world, they all reappeared, not as some mystical vision, but actually in person, and start dancing in Narottam's kirtan. And Raghunandana was there, and he saw his father Mukunda, who also returned with Lord Chaitanya. That's a famous pastime, the Ketrigram pastime by Narottam Das Thakur. You can read about that in the life of Narottam. So that's a little bit about Raghunandana Thakur. And then you have Raghunath Das Goswami. Radhanath Swami just recently gave a lecture at Govardhan Echo Village, and he spoke on Raghunath Das Goswami for 3 hours. So there's a lot about Raghunath Das Goswami. He's known as Rati Manjari. Some people say Rasa Manjari, but the more popular one is Rati Manjari. He is an eternal associate of Radharani, who does personal service for Radharani in the spiritual world. He was born in a very wealthy family. His father and uncle were landowners who were on the level of billionaires by today's standards. But he had no attachment or attraction for any of the wealth or the life of the only son of a wealthy merchant. So he left home and joined Lord Chaitanya, actually. There's many stories of Raghunath Das Goswami. When he came, of course, his parents tried to keep him from going, and they hired guards, but he managed to escape the guards and wound up with Lord Chaitanya. and then he was put under the care of Swarup Damodar Goswami. His parents sent some money with the guards so he could live, and he used his money to purchase boga so he could invite Lord Chaitanya every day for lunch. And he was cooking and offering lunch to Lord Chaitanya. After some time, he stopped. Lord Chaitanya asked Swarup Damodar, "Why isn't Raghunath inviting me anymore?" And then Swarup Damodar Goswami said, actually, he stopped taking money from his parents because he didn't want to be dependent on them or use their money. So then Lord Chaitanya said, how is he living? Well, he's going in front of the Jagannath temple and he is begging from whoever passes by the Jagannath temple. And he was doing some just begging. He had his begging bowl there. And then Lord Chaitanya said, oh, that's very nice. And after some time, Lord Chaitanya inquired again, how is Raghunath Das doing? How's Raghunath doing? Well, he's no longer doing that because he feels like he's becoming like a prostitute, standing there thinking, oh, this person gave me yesterday, will he give me today? This person hasn't given me, will he give me something? So his mind was not very peaceful. So he gave up that. Lord Chaitanya said, well, how is he living? Well, on the southern gate of the Jagannath temple, there's a place where they throw the old rotten prasadam that is no longer sellable over the wall, and there's cows who come and they eat that prasadam, and a lot of it's very old and some of it is uncooked. So he's going there and he's taking that food. Lord Chaitanya said, oh, let's go see him. So he went, and there was Raghunath, along with the cows, looking through the food to find something to eat. Now, he came from a very wealthy family. Now he's just scratching along, seeing what he could find. And he would take a piece of hard rice that the cows wouldn't even eat, and he would wash it off, and he would put some salt on it, and then he would eat it. And he was living on that. So when Lord Chaitanya came, he saw Raghunath doing that. He ran over and grabbed what he was eating and started eating it himself. Swarup Damodar was shocked. He said, my dear Lord, this is not fit for you. Lord Chaitanya responded, I have been eating many curries and subjis and sweets and puris and so many luxury, but this, what Raghunath Das is eating, is the best of all. What was he saying? Why was he speaking like that? Lord Chaitanya was tasting the bhakti, the bhakti of Raghunath Das. He was so renounced that he simply accepted whatever little remnants that the cows didn't eat. He lived on that. There are many stories later on, after some time after Lord Chaitanya left, he went to Vrindavan and he made his home on the banks of Radhakund and Shamakund. When he was looking at Radhakund and Shamakund, he could see that they were not nicely being taken care of at that time. So he was thinking, if I had some wealth, then I would excavate and arrange these kunds for Radharani and Krishna in a nice way. So, but then he was thinking, what am I thinking about? I have given up all of this. Well, now I'm thinking about wealth. So, around the same time, one very rich merchant who went every year to Badrinath to see Badri Vatsal, the deity of Badrinath, he would come every year and bring a large amount of money and offer it to Badri Vatsal, the deity there. So he came one night and then he went to sleep. And that night, in his dream, the deity, Badri Vatsal, told him, don't give the money here. There is a great personality in Vrindavan. He has a project. You give that money to him. And then he inquired in the dream about some more information, and the deity revealed. And then the next day he packed up, brought his wealth, and found Raghunath Das Goswami and arranged for that place to be excavated. And because of that, Radhakund, and there was some problem with Shamakund, because on the banks of Shamakund there were 5 trees that were making it very difficult to renovate the place. So they were thinking the next day we'll cut those trees down. But that night, when Raghunath Das Goswami went to sleep, in the dream appeared the 5 Pandavas and saying, actually, we are in the form of the trees on the banks of Shamakunda, so please don't cut us down. So he honored that dream, and that's why you see today that Radhakund is very square, very symmetrical, but Shamakund is not, because they left those trees. Later on, those trees disappeared by their own volition, and they actually attained to the spiritual world. One day, someone came and the trees were gone. So that was the 5 Pandavas. So he lived there and he did his bhajan. You could go there today and you'll see there's a bhajan kutir Raghunath Das Goswami, where there is a constant kirtan going on. It's been going on for more than 100 years. It goes on every day. It goes on not only every day, it goes on 24 hours a day, every day. So this constant kirtan is being played in that bhajan kutir. There's a beautiful story when Raghunath Das first got there to do his bhajan. He was that area, there were many wild animals there. So Raghunath Das, he wasn't afraid of anything. He was living there. And he was drinking the water from one kund, and some tigers came and started drinking the same water. Sanatan Goswami happened to come and see that whole thing, and he was concerned for Raghunath. But Raghunath was completely, what we say, free from any fear. He continued his bhajan. One day when he was doing his bhajan, it was a very hot day and the sun was blazing. And Srimati Radharani happened to be walking along. So she saw this personality, great saint, sitting there doing his bhajan. So she came and took her sari and shielded his head with her sari, and she stood in the hot sun. And she was also experiencing, it says in the Shastra, she was perspiring from the hot sun. So Sanatan Goswami said, you're taking service from Srimati Radharani. He wasn't even aware that Radharani was giving him that service. So they built him a bhajan kutir where he could go outside from the sun and do his bhajan. But these are some of the pastimes of Raghunath Das Goswami. There's many, many more. There's a whole life story of his pastimes. He is a very highly elevated person. He's written many books on Krishna Lila, and the famous Mukta. I can't remember the whole title. It's called The Pearl Story, where Krishna grows pearls from the ground. Mukta Charita. Yeah, Mukta Charita, it's called. That's one of his books. And of course, he's written beautiful prayers to Srimati Radharani. He cries out, he cries in such ecstasy of separation. He calls out Radharani's name and constantly just begging, calling, begging for her mercy, begging for her service. And of course, he has attained that service in the spiritual world, where he does personal service under the guise of Rupa Manjari, who is the leading servitor of Srimati Radharani on the personal level. So between Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari, they serve Radharani directly, arranging everything she needs in order to meet Krishna for their pastimes. Very, very. Shivaram Maharaj is writing a whole series on that. He's written 3 volumes already. There's one prayer, it's called Vilapa Kusumanjali, 96 verses. Shivaram Maharaj is taking each one of those verses and giving a purport, both Tattva and Leela, into the purports. It's really interesting. The books are 300, 500 pages, 500, 600 pages long. He's completed 3 volumes already, and the 4th volume will come out in about another week, from what I just recently heard. And then he'll continue to finish the 96 verses. I think he's somewhere halfway through. Those volumes will be, let me see, 6, no, not 6, 8, 7, not 7, 8, 9. There will be about 6 or 7 volumes of 700, 600 pages each. And it's full of tattva, not just Leela, so we can get a clear understanding of the philosophy that accompanies these Leelas, which are very important for us to understand. Just to read Leela just straight is it's only for those who are on the highest platform. We need to have tattva in order for us to understand Leela, or not to misunderstand Leela. Okay, so anyway, that's a little bit about Raghunath Das Goswami. Then you have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There's not much about Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He lived in Vrindavan. He wrote many books. He also wrote a commentary on the Srimad Bhagavatam, taking each verse from Bhagavatam and giving a commentary on it, and that's called the Darshan Sarati Darshana. You can get that. In each one, there's many volumes covering the whole 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote many other books also. And when he was a young boy, he defeated one great Pandit, and he was only a very young boy. And he became famous after that. His parents were worried about him, so they kept him home. He had no tendency for marriage, but you know what Indian families are like. So they forced him to get married. So he got married, and after some time, he said, Haribol, and took off. Not long after that. So I don't know if he said Haribol, but he definitely didn't stay in the marriage realm very long. So yeah, so he's written many, many books on Krishna, Leela, and Vrindavan, many intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. Today is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's disappearance day. Raghunanda Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Punarik Vidyanidhi are appearance day. We also have the appearance day of Vishnu Priya. Vishnu Priya was the second wife of Mahaprabhu. His first wife was Lakshmi Priya. And there are 3 energies that make up the tattva of the Supreme. There is Shri, Bhu, and Neela. Sometimes Neela is called Leela. She is of the Bhu nature. Shri nature was Lakshmi Priya. Lakshmi Priya didn't have much association after she married Mahaprabhu, because soon after that he went to preach in what is now known the area as Bangladesh. And when he came back, his mother had told him that actually she left the world in separation. Then his mother arranged for another marriage, and she contacted Kashinath Mishra, who was a marriage maker, and he arranged for the daughter of, who was it? Can't remember the daughter of Srinath somebody. He was a very famous personality. He had a very qualified daughter named Vishnu Priya. If you read the Chaitanya Mangalam, there's a very, very, very elaborate description of the whole wedding. It takes up many pages. Anybody who likes weddings, this is your book. It's a beautiful wedding, how everything was played out. So that's covered there. Vishnu Priya, actually, she had to suffer the separation. She was only 7 or 8 years old when she got married to Lord Chaitanya, and he hardly ever talked to her. But after some time, she realized that he was going to leave and then take sannyas, and then she went into a state of unlimited unhappiness. And then Mahaprabhu realized that, and he started giving her some attention and tried to pacify her feelings. But she couldn't be pacified because she knew he would leave very soon. And that's what happened at one point. He left everything and went to, what was that place where he took sannyas? Katwa. He went to Katwa and took sannyas from Keshava Bharati. When he left, she stayed in the house of Sachi Mata her whole life, and she would chant the holy names of the Lord. And every time she would finish one mantra, she would put one piece of rice aside. And then after about half a day, whatever rice was there, she would cook it, offer it, and give it to Sachimata. And whatever Sachimata didn't eat, she would eat, and that's all she ate her whole life. She lived to the age of 96 years old in the house of Sachimata. When Sachimata passed away, Ishana, the personal servant of Sachimata, took care of her until she actually went back to the spiritual world. She was the internal energy known as the Bhushakti of Lord Chaitanya. Then we have Saraswati Puja as also part of this day. So this Saraswati is not the wife of Lord Brahma, not the goddess of learning, Saraswati. This Saraswati is Lakshmi herself. So on this day, we also honor her. I'll see if I can find some information that would be relevant to the devotees about Saraswati. There's a lot here, too much to read. Well, actually, it's all philosophy about Krishna Lila, not Krishna Lila, but the difference between. Let's see what I have. Long live Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Kaishura age. Both the goddess of fortune and the goddess of learning worship him. The goddess of learning, Saraswati, worshipped him in his victory over the scholar who had conquered all the world. And the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, worshipped him at home. Since he is therefore the husband or lord of both goddesses, I offer obeisances unto him. It's from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, today's so we honor Lakshmi Devi in her form as the goddess of learning, who is Saraswati. She is the source of the goddess of learning, who is known as Lord Brahma's consort. She is the original Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi has many forms. I think she has how many forms? 12 different forms she manifests in her service to Narayan. Okay, so this is a little bit about the personalities We just touched the surface. We got a drop of the nectar of the ocean. The ocean is unlimited. But when you talk about the pastimes of the Lord, you're entering into an area of unlimitedness. It can go on eternally and still never end.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Maharaj. So beautifully you have narrated all the pastimes of all the exalted devotees. And Vasanta Panchami as well. Devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realizations, please unmute yourself and ask. And if you can't speak, please type in the chat box. We have, yeah. And it would be nice to have your cameras on, please, if you can. Thank you.
Any comments also about, Vasant Panchami, the celebration of Vasant Panchami? Today, all the deities around ISKCON are dressed in yellow or yellow-green. I just went to the temple in Mayapur. The altar is astounding. Mahaprabhu also in his feature as Panchatattva, so beautifully decorated in gorgeous bright yellow garments, along with Radha and Krishna and the Astasakis. Even the Sringadev, he's got some yellow in there. So beautiful. Temples. This morning I didn't go, and I went to this afternoon because the temple in the morning was so packed up you couldn't even get in. So, yeah. So we go to any temple in ISKCON today that has Radha Krishna deities, you'll see these deities dressed in that way. It's an auspicious day. It's a day for beginning different. If you want to make something successful in your life, begin it on this day. That's why many people get married on this day also.
Nice. Raghav Prabhu, you have a answer?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Am I audible, Guru Maharaj?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, please go.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Maharaj, I was reflecting on the contributions of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And we also heard about how he established the Chaya deities after the original deities were moved from Vrindavan, and how his other contributions are to the parampara. So I was thinking that we are so small and insignificant. So can you please tell Guru Maharaj how we can take lessons from our acharyas and also cultivate our mood of service by what they have done, by taking inspiration from that?
Well, they leave behind what they've done, and they also, in terms of the books they've written, you can take advantage, especially when it comes to Vishwanath Chakravarti. He has given greater insight into the Srimad Bhagavatam by reading his commentaries that are already given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. Of course, that came after. And so we get a greater understanding of the text of Srimad Bhagavatam, which will increase our philosophical understanding of the process of Krishna consciousness and go deeper into our understanding of Krishna and his different pastimes. He also commissioned, when there was some conflict in, what was that place? Jaipur. The Vaishnavas in Jaipur were criticized by the Ramanandis, which was an offshoot of the Sri Sampradaya, saying that the Vaishnavas don't have any commentary and don't have any commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And so the king, King Govinda Singh, questioned the Vaishnavas, saying this is what the Ramanandis say. And if you don't have a commentary on Vedanta Sutra, you're considered, you're not a bona fide Sampradaya. But our commentary on Vedanta Sutra is Srimad Bhagavatam. But they didn't accept that commentary. They wanted a more direct commentary. Of course, it is direct. Srimad Bhagavatam is a commentary on Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva himself. But they weren't accepting that. So They asked Vishwanath Chakravarti to come and speak to the Ramanandis, but he was in Vrindavan. He was old at the time and he couldn't travel. So he suggested that Baladev Vidyabhushan make the commentary. So when Baladev heard about it, he was quite shocked. He was asked to do this work. So he was thinking how to do it. So he went in front of the deity of Govinda, the original Govinda deity that was taken out of Vrindavan when the Muslims attacked, was taken to Jaipur. The deity is still there. So he went and prayed in front of Govindaji. And while he was praying, Govinda dropped his garland. And everyone who was there saw that, and they all started to cheer. That means Govinda gave the permission and blessing. And then Baladev started to write, and he called that commentary called Govinda Bhashya, spoken by Govinda. So that was accepted by the Ramanandis, and we became, at least within their eyes and the eyes of the king, Govinda Singh at the time, that we became a recognized, unauthorized sampradaya. But we didn't need to do that, but they wouldn't accept it because they didn't accept Srimad Bhagavatam as the commentary. But Prabhupada says that over and over again. This is the commentary of Vedanta Sutra, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's a little bit more about Vishwanath.
Hare Krishna Raghav Prabhu, does that helps?
Yeah,
Yes, yes, Mata.
he's just making comments. Thank you, Raghav.
Thank you very much. Maharaj, I wanted to tell you about something. We are doing a youth program for 3,000 students on 26th of January. So we need your blessings for this. Krishna Kishore Prabhu and Advaita Acharya Prabhu have been working hard for many months. And I am sitting where the pandal is constructed. So this is the stage. And very soon lights and everything will be here. And it is my responsibility along with one more devotee to make sure that the pandal is constructed nicely. So I'm sitting here sometime I'm doing other services. So we need your mercy, Guru Maharaj. Without your mercy, we cannot make this successful. So please bless us.
You have my best wishes, and of course, such a grand festival with such qualified devotees such as Krishna Kishore and Advaita
Yeah.
Acharya, and others. Yeah, 3,000 students. Wonderful, wonderful.
Prabhu, do you want to show your pandal again? Because I've just added it in the pin so everyone can see.
This is the stage.
Very nice.
Here we'll have a screen for those who are sitting at the back because we'll also show a drama. This side Mataji's will sit. This side Prabhuji's will sit. Here we'll have another screen for the Prabhuji's at the back. At the stage we'll have a big screen so that everybody can see the drama, and also if Krishna Kishore Prabhu is in case invisible because he's going to give the class. Um, Here is a center partition so that the devotees and the dignitaries can walk, and yeah, we'll have lights and sounds.
Sounds
And
good.
that's about it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the day after Advaita Acharya's appearance day, so you can pray
okay.
for his birthday.
Definitely going.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice and inspiring.
I'm looking forward to my next visit to Ujjain.
Yes,
Oh,
Guru
it's in
Maharaj. We are also.
Ujjain.
Yeah, this is Ujjain.
Oh, I thought it's in
Maharaj,
Mayapur.
when you are coming?
You have to speak to my representatives. Satyabhama is from Indore and her husband is from Ujjain.
Maharaj, when are you planning to come to Indore, Ujjain?
We'll be coming in September again for the festivals.
September.
Hmm.
This year, September, that's very far.
You have a different plan? No.
If you have plan, then I'll make my plan. Any other questions, devotees?
Satyabhama, just talking won't work. You have to book tickets and show up in September.
All right, I need some money, so I'll sell your apartment and get some money and I'll travel.
No problem, Guru Maharaj.
Any other questions, devotee? You have just marked 1 hour. So
I wish I was able to expand myself in so many forms, but I can't do it. So I'm limited, and I'm also not able to move around like I used to move around. So, but we'll be there in September. Now it's we leave India at the end of February, and then we'll be going to the West, Europe, and then US, and then Europe again, and then Ujjain in September. So I have my duties, I have to do them. Now Krishna can change anything around, so this is so far what I know. I met your parents when I went to Indore.
yes,
They
that
came
is
actually, they came to Ujjain to see me. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So nice, Maharaj. Please come Indore again and again. That place needs blessings.
That place is giving blessings. You kidding?
Jai. Raj Prabhu, you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Guru Maharaj, you talked about different forms of Lakshmi in the last portion of class. I read somewhere that there are these Ashta Lakshmi, 8 forms of Lakshmi, but you also talked about 12 forms of Lakshmi. Are these different? Can you please uh, elaborate on this?
Yeah. Some people say 8, some people say 12. I took the higher number just to be safe.
Guru Maharaj, at my initiation, you had told that Lakshmi Devi has 108 different manifestations. I'm
Well,
sorry,
I
108
mean, she
names.
is,
Yeah,
the
that's what you
internal
said.
energy.
108 names. She has 108 names in the scriptures, and we are choosing one of them and naming you Sri Devi Dasi. Like that you had said.
If she has 108 names, that means she has 108 forms. Because each name indicates a particular form. So there might be 8 prominent forms or 12 prominent forms. Anyway, she's the goddess of fortune.
And Krishna's wife.
Expansion of Srimati Radharani.
Thank you, Raj Prabhu. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Maharaji. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Thank you. So we don't have any questions anymore now, Maharaj, and we have marked just 1 hour, so we can.
We have
Yes, that's fine. For sure.
We have 3 devotees here. Yeah, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. Sorry about that one. I got so just. I'm getting smashed now. Okay, well, so we have a question from one devotee. You better speak up. Don't just sit there and smile.
Maharaj, what is the significance of yellow color today? The white is already is decorated in yellow color. Yellow.
Well, yeah, yellow. She's asking what is the significance of yellow? Yellow indicates springtime. Yellow and green. Everything new becomes in the spring. It becomes yellow, green, everything. Mostly green, mostly yellow. So it's the colors of spring. That's all. Yeah, springtime.
In Goloka also, everything is yellow today.
What? You're asking what?
In Goloka, it's yellow today. There also.
I don't know if Goloka follows our calendar. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. She's asking in Goloka, does they dress everybody yellow today? I was thinking, we follow Goloka, they don't follow us.
Devaki Mataji was telling it's a glimpse to Goloka.
Huh?
Devaki Mataji was telling it's a glimpse to Goloka. Today's all the darshan and everything. It's a glimpse to Goloka. So.
Well, okay. Next question.
Sridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I was wondering about the color yellow. Is that something that is compulsory to dress the deities in yellow on Vasanta Panchami because this is what they want to wear? Because today in the temple here at Mira Road, they were in pastel shades of pink and gray and something like that, but no hint of yellow at all on the deities. So I was just curious, is it something optional?
Oh, maybe they just don't have any yellow dress. It's traditional throughout the whole society to, and of course, Vasant Panchami is honored in India. Of course, you're also in India. So yeah. Yellow, the 3 colors, yellow, red, and green, yellow, red, and blue, are the 3 primary colors. And if you connect them with the 3 modes of nature, blue is considered the mode of ignorance, red is considered passion, and yellow is considered goodness. That's how the colors line up with the modes anyway. The yellow, when you see yellow, it gives you a feeling of lightness, happiness. Yellow is a very happy. When you see red, you see a different mood. A different mood comes from red. Blue is like Gupta, red is like high energy or passion. Yellow is like beauty and auspiciousness. Colors
Yes,
all
Guru.
indicate certain qualities. White indicates purity.
Hmm.
Black indicates the absence of all colors. Purple indicates the hippies. That was from the Chandramauli Samhita.
Okay, I was just going to say it's my favorite color.
Saffron is the same as when you take red and orange. No, you take red and yellow, and you put it together, and you got saffron. Saffron is only red and yellow together. Green, the color green indicates peace, serenity. Just imagine, look around the world. All nature is mostly green. If all nature was purple, you'd go crazy. So Krishna picked the right color for nature. You'd go nuts if all nature was actually red. If it was all blue, you'd just go to sleep all the time. If it was red, you'd just kind of fight with each other all the time. And if it's green, it's peaceful, serene, happy, simple. So Krishna chose the right color for nature, right? Colors have an effect. Yeah.
Maharaj, Krishna's body color,
You don't know?
is it sky dark?
Read the books.
No, sometimes it is said blue also.
Sometimes we say blue, but it's a blackish blue that is mostly it's black with blue tinge. Blackish blue is Krishna's color. But that's just an indication. You can't understand his color simply by comparing it to something in this world. Sri Devi, what was your question?
My question was about all these great personalities that were being glorified today. Is it that these are all, because they are all Nitya Siddhas, therefore they are so exalted, and Nitya Baddhas can never, hope to become like them?
Oh, no, it just happens to be their appearance and disappearance days. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, these are the appearance days of these personalities and one disappearance day. That's all. Nothing more than that. Don't try to read anything into it.
Okay, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much. My obeisance.
Thank you, Raj Devi Mataji. Ravati Mataji, please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. My question is about these three energies, Sri, Bhu, and Neela. As you mentioned, it's different aspects of Krishna's energies. So, can you please explain the characteristics, of each energy, what they represent?
Yeah, I'll give you that right away. Let's see here. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, let's see. Let's see. All manifestations of Vishnu Tattva have three Shaktis, known as Sri, Bhu, and Neela. Lakshmi Priya Devi is Sri Shakti of Mahaprabhu in his majestic Gaur Narayan form. Vishnu Priya is his Bhu Shakti, and Navadvip Dham is his Leela Shakti. Okay?
Yes.
These energies, there's 16, well, there's Kripa Shakti and there's other Shaktis. There's 16 sub-energies. And out of the 16, the three prominent are Sri, Bhu, and Neela, or Leela. Neela is also known as Leela. It is terms for the different energies that play different roles in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes or Krishna's pastimes, either one.
Okay, Guru Maharaj, yeah. I can read anywhere, Guru Maharaj, more about this?
Hmm?
Can I read more about this anywhere, like in the verses?
You have to go to Shastra and do some research on these different, just do a little research on each of these different, and you'll find out more.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rati Mataji. That's it, I think. There's no other questions.
Good. Shall we end with a little japa?
Yes, we can. Definitely. There is someone had just posted something. Let me check if it is a question. Hare Krishna, this is a Bhabe Prabhu. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, I've heard Goddess Satyabhama is expansion of Radharani and Goddess Rukmani is expansion of Chandravali. How true is that?
Say that again.
So he's asking, I've heard Goddess Satyabhama is expansion of Radharani and Goddess Rukmani is an expansion of Chandravali. How true is that?
Very true. That is exactly correct. That's according to Shastra. When Radharani manifested herself as one of the queens, she became Satyabhama. When Chandravali manifested herself as one of the queens, she became Rukmini. Yeah, that's mentioned. Chandravali was she's a right-wing gopi. She's very sweet, passive. She's also the younger sister of Radharani. Radharani is fiery, and so Satyabhama is also fiery. And so when she disagrees with Krishna sometimes, so that's why I named you Satyabhama. You know why? Because you used to argue with me all the time, so I figured that would be the perfect name. But then you should tell the story how you got your name of Satyabhama. Remember that story?
Yes.
Go ahead, tell it. Anyway, we're not talking about you, but since you have the name, since it's interesting, devotees are also interesting. I didn't know that your name was Satyabhama, but I gave you that name. But you knew the name even before I before I gave the name. So somehow there was some spiritual intervention there.
Yes.
But there's the story where Hanuman, was in Ayodhya, and Ram, along with Ram, Sita, Lakshman, and Hanuman. No, not Hanuman. Ram, Sita, and Lakshman were in Ayodhya. So Ram told Garuda to go to, what was it? Hanuman was somewhere else. I can't. I actually was in the spiritual world. He said, go to Ayodhya and tell Hanuman that no, actually, I'm sorry. It was Krishna who was with Krishna in Dwarka. That's right. It was Krishna was with Satyabhama. And anyway, he asked Garuda to go. So the point was that, yeah, Krishna was with Satyabhama. And he asked Garuda to go to Ayodhya and tell Hanuman to come and see Krishna. When Garuda came, Hanuman was absorbed in worshipping his deity of Ram. So Garuda tried to get the attention of Hanuman, but he couldn't. And he tried to tell him that Krishna wanted to see him in Dwarka. But Hanuman was just absorbed, but Garuda was persistent. So Hanuman started getting a little upset that his worship was being disturbed. So he took his tail and smashed Garuda with his tail. And Garuda didn't have to fly back to Dwarka, he landed back. And then he fell in front of Krishna and said, Haribol, I failed. Well, and then Krishna looked at Satyabhama and said, all right, I'll become Ram and you become Sita. And she said, no. So she was out. And then Krishna went to Rukmini and asked her, and she agreed. And then Hanuman, Ram, now Krishna in the form of Ram, told Garuda to go back to Ayodhya and bring Hanuman, say then Ram's there. So he flew back, and this time when he was saying, well, actually, Hanuman, Ram, where did Hanuman go? He turned around, Hanuman was already gone, and he was already back in Dwarka when he knew that Ram was there. So, yeah, and so Balaram took the form of Lakshman. So, yeah. So that was the story of Satyabhama. But anyway, Krishna likes ladies who disagree with him. In the material world, it's not very good, but in the spiritual world, it's exciting. And if you want to turn your marriage into something spiritual, just fight with your wife. It becomes really fun. Satyabhama, please give a purport.
Okay. Should I share the screen, Maharaj, for chanting?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Turn on the heater. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Tejas, turn on the heater. Put on the first switch. Bring it all. That's good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Here's Mayapur. I don't know if that's today, but it's might be a different year.
Guru Maharaj, it is from last year, Guru Maharaj.
Huh?
It was last year's darshan.
Mhm.